information that we get on that report and anything on the Ahmedabad air disaster that comes our way. Anyway, moving on. Multiple blasts rocked Gaza in the early hours of Saturday as explosions lit up the sky around dawn. The strikes were captured by Reuters cameras positioned on the Israeli side of the border. This comes amid growing fears that ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas in Qatar are on the verge of collapse. According to Palestinian officials, Israel sent a delegation to Doha with no real authority to negotiate, stalling talks on key issues like troop withdrawal and humanitarian aid access. Despite Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's earlier optimism, stating a deal could be reached in a few days, negotiators now say the process has nearly broken down. With Gaza's largest functioning hospital now warning of collapse, the humanitarian crisis deepens as the diplomatic window narrows. We're now joined by Shruti Dasgupta, who's an international affairs expert. She joins us live from New Delhi to discuss this in further detail. Shruti, thank you very much for joining us. There was some optimism here a few days back in regards to President Trump's statements, in regards to Benjamin Netanyahu's statements, in a ceasefire that could be done within the next week, at least a 60-day pause in hostilities. However, there's been some serious concerns now coming out of the delegations, in which a Palestinian official has said that the Israeli delegation sent to the Qatari capital has no real authority. That's from a Palestinian official, of course. Should we still have optimism in regard to these talks? Or some critics would say that this is Israel putting their delegation to Doha for the theatrics. What are your thoughts on this?
I can argue both sides of the coin, Thomas. Thank you so much for inviting me. But for me personally, it looks like a stalling tactic that was held on the insistence of United States because of President Trump's own personal ambitions of being the global peacemaker. So this looks more like theatrics to me personally, where it feels as if they sent the delegation through, but as when we spoke last time, I believe I pointed out that while the delegation is there, the IDF is walking into southern Lebanon. The IDF has attacked Yemen. Now Yemen has retaliated with attacks against Israel itself. So the war in terms of Israel's dominance continues in the Middle East, and the peace talks are just a way to stall Hamas and appease Trump and US and the West that, look, we are open to peace, but not at the term of what the Iran and its proxies want to project it. So more theatrics rather than actual words on paper and signing procedures.
There's obviously been vast opposition within the Israeli government. A lot of members of Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition that don't want a ceasefire. Do you think it's in Benjamin Netanyahu's interest to end hostilities in Gaza? There's been a lot of claims that people believe that he is stalling this conflict, or has been stalling this conflict, in order to keep his position as Prime Minister and to halt his corruption trial. What do you think of these allegations?
Well, the corruption trial itself is, I think, more of smoke and guns rather than actual cause where we can actually see some major funds being diverted or a major allegation. It's very minimal. The amount is also not very shocking. More of a political pull and push rather than an actual corruption charge. But yes, he is head of a coalition government. And the coalition is a far-right government. They do not want the ceasefire. They are putting that pressure on him. And he himself has stated from 1996 onwards that he wants an end to Hamas itself. He has put out Iran as their stated enemy since a very long time and has been ringing the nuclear alarm bell since then. So this is an ongoing process for Netanyahu. This is something that he wanted to have from not just now, from the current situation, but from a very long historical perspective as well. So he faces his own coalition's pressure, And he faces the opposition's pressure as well, because the opposition, Israeli opposition, is stating that they want to put the hostages first. In this particular peace deal, the hostages are used as political capital by Hamas. If they let go of all the hostages, the live as well as the dead ones, they will face, they will be empty-handed on the table. So they do not want to do that, and that is the pressure point the opposition is building for Netanyahu. So either way, this deal being on the table was not going to be acceptable in any form to any Israeli, be it Netanyahu or his opponents. So it is obviously, as I said, theatrics, and Netanyahu has no need to appease the Hamas and Palestinian authorities.
Shruti, thank you. You are staying with us. We now move west